Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again in this YouTube astrological segment. We'll be talking about transit Pluto conjunct one's natal Mercury. Now, when we're talking about transits that involve Pluto, they could be about transformation, power, obsession, and control. When transit Pluto conjoins one's natal Mercury, well, this could manifest in transformation, power, obsession, control. It could be in one's communication. It could be the way one might be thinking. Say if it's in Sagittarius, as an example, it might be through more of a religious mindset and thinking, seeing things more from a religious perspective. Or talking about religion or just anything Sagittarius related, something was publishing or sports. But religion could be very strong. As far as a major change in one's mindset, as an example, if this was in Sagittarius. Now, another thing too is that it can also be where you might be more fixated or obsessed on assimilating information learning at this time. There might be very strong, powerful powers of concentration in terms of learning subjects or talking about them. It might be something to, in some isolated cases, not not many, but remember that considering that Pluto can be about obliteration and destruction, sometimes this may destroy the rational thinking, which could manifest in a number of ways, such as like a nervous breakdown in some isolated cases. Now, whether this transit manifests more positively or negatively, a lot of that can be predicated and dependent on the aspects that it makes to points in your chart. It could also be really strong. Mercury is about analysis, so it might be more obsessed with analyzing things at this time. It might be where you might be involved in more deep analysis. Like say if this was in Aquarius and you're doing something with astrology, it could be a very you know deep analysis of astrology charts as an example. Trying to see the Dwad within the Dwad as an example. Um, it can also be a time too where this might manifest in power struggles with siblings, cousins, or neighbors. Pluto is also connected with coercion, bullying, kidnapping. Some remote cases, it could be expressed, maybe the kidnapping of a sibling or a cousin or a neighbor. I'm not saying by you, but you might have an experience where one of these people may be in a situation like that with someone else. It could also be about taking a lot of secretive, mysterious, short journeys. You might be a little bit more secretive regarding these things at this time. Your communications may be more inconspicuous, more discreet, more so than usual at this time. Now, anatomically speaking, Uh, Mercury is connected with the arms, the hands, the lungs, brain, nerves, breathing, and eyesight. So in some cases, it could be surgery on something with this. It could be maybe, let's say, a deep issue with something I described, something that might require more than just a simple X-ray. I mean, if you're something with the hands, it can be very strong. Maybe it's some nerve damage, something that requires deep testing, like a nerve conduction test. Could also be a time to looking at this that Pluto again is also about obliteration, destruction. In some cases, this could actually be about maybe a complete malfunctioning of a hand or an arm in some cases, but this is very isolated and remote, of course. Um, it's also too, Pluto is connected Mercury is connected with local transportation. Pluto can be about transformation. If you're somebody that works auto mechanics, this could be about, maybe this could be expressed in rebuilding vehicles. because that's a transformation. And also too, to remember that Mercury is connected with mobility as well. So it might be a time too where you might be, as far as mobility, you might feel maybe for some reason, there might be a transformation in this if you were just getting around on a bicycle, for example, in some cases, and then you made a transition, and for whatever reasons you decided to actually use a car or vice versa. This could be a very strong period for maybe making a major change in how you're getting around, how you're moving around. Some cases it could be from just moving around your home. It could be where you might, for some cases, like if you have a disability, remote cases, it could be just walking regularly. It might be needing a crutch at some point, or maybe it's a time where the reverse could happen if you were limited in your mobility and moving around. It could be a time where maybe something miraculous could happen, or maybe there's a change in that you're able to actually move more fluidly as opposed to with restrictions. Another thing too, another way this could manifest, this could be about deep research on neighbors, on siblings, cousins. Could be the neighborhood, but it might be doing a criminal background check on people in your neighborhood, or on a sibling or a cousin or a neighbor. Could also be a time to looking at this as well. Sometimes this could be expressed in very fixated or obsessive or compulsive thinking. Say if this is in the fourth house as an example, it could be on something home related. Say if it's a Virgo in the fourth house, maybe it's this constant sanitizing, this compulsive cleaning, doorknobs, whatever it might be. Also, too, Pluto is connected with destruction and obliteration. Some isolated cases, this can be about the destruction of a vehicle. If I'm not mistaken, revered golfer Tiger Woods had this transit when he had the car accident. And then, that could be obviously, this was in Capricorn. It wouldn't surprise me if the skeletal part of the vehicle was really severely damaged. This could be also too, looking at this transit, it can be something where you're more loquacious or voluble regarding Pluto-related subjects like the occult, which includes astrology, matters with insurance, death, transformation, resiliency. It's also, it could be some cases, it could be a transformation in one's speech. It could be where one has to adapt to using like a voice transformer. Also, too, now not to be overly morbid or morose, but another way this can manifest, it could be about a death of a sibling or a cousin or a neighbor at this time. It could be a neighbor that figured prominently in your life. You might be more inclined to try to understand psychology or the psychological reasons why people may be doing things. It could be about a lot of deep thinking at this time. You might not be as inclined towards superficial communications. It might be really more about a lot of deep analysis at this time. Now, say if this was in Aquarius as an example, it could be very deep analysis connected with astrology or computers. It may be, or something with astronomy. Now, another thing too, remember Pluto is very dark energy, I would say. Sometimes it could darken the eyesight, sometimes it could obliterate it when you have this transit. Mercury is connected with eyesight. Pluto is about obliteration, but it's darkening energy as well. Someone might succumb to night blindness in some remote cases. And again, in isolated cases, this could be about surgery, which is Pluto, It could be on the hand, on the arm, or the eyes, maybe the shoulder even, or the brain, or even the lungs at this time. Hold on a moment, people. Sorry about that, but I'm back. But anyway, it could also be about very jealous or manipulative or obsessive or fixated thinking at this time. And also, too, I could be flippant with this. Maybe it's time for power steering at this time. If you hadn't had it previously, Pluto's about power. Steering is connected with vehicles, but I'm really joking as far as this goes. So, anyway, I mean, the real thing, a lot about this transit, it could be a lot of transformation in how you think and how you may speak. It could also be very strong power in communication at this time, where your words have more of an impact on others more so than usual, I would say. So, anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, people, Edwin Learnard saying stay well.